talking, Dutch. Mr. Benedict, you're supposed to be a good lawyer, aren't you, Mr. Benedict?
Oh, I'm supposed to be, yes.
Well, are you?
I don't know. Why don't you try me out?
Didn't you come down here to be the lawyer for Mr. Dunphy, Mr. Charles Dunphy?
Oh, well, I know that Mr. Dunphy was arrested on charges of grand theft bunco.
That's something like being a crook, isn't it, Mr. Benedict?
Well, something like it, yes.
Well, he's no crook, no sir.
Mr. Dunphy asked me to appear at the arraignment for him. I've never met him, nor have I decided to take his case. After I finish in court, I intend to go up to the jail and talk with him.
When you meet him, you'll like him. He never cheated anybody in his life.
Just what is your relationship to Mr. Dunphy?
He's my father.
And you?
He's my father, too.
Mr. Benedict?
Yes.
I'm grateful that you're here. Frankly, I didn't think you'd be interested.
Why not, Mr. Dunphy?
For your reputation. You're not the kind of lawyer who defends petty con men.
Petty? I have the transcript of the indictment, Mr. Dunphy. It doesn't sound petty. According to the grand jury, you're charged with 8 counts of grand theft bunco. Each count is for the embezzlement of large contributions from charity organizations. You could get anywhere from 5 to 20 years if you're found guilty. Care for a smoke?
No, thank you.
Are you guilty of these charges, Mr. Dunphy?
I could be found guilty. Then again, I could be found innocent. It all depends.
On what?
How good a lawyer you are.
I haven't decided to take your case yet.
Nor have I decided that I want you to defend me.
How old are you, Mr. Dunphy?
I think I was 60 last May.
Any previous arrests?
Certainly not.
According to the grand jury transcript, you pose as a missionary or a member of the clergy giving lectures, pleading the need of medical and financial help for the underprivileged.
Well, I think it would be fair to say that I left that impression. I happen to be a firm believer in the adage that charity begins at home.
Then what you're saying is that all the money you swindled out of these organizations went to the one and only underprivileged Charlie Dunphy.
You might say that.
Are you married?
No.
Ever been married?
No.
Have any children? I asked you if you had any children, Mr. Dunphy.
Do I look like a man that goes around creating illegitimate children?
I'm not interested in what you look like. I know you're a man in trouble, and I'd appreciate it if you'd stop hedging and answer the question.
I have children, Mr. Benedict.
How many?
17, to be exact.
17.
Of various size, age, shape, and color. And I expect to have more, the Lord willing. Now, Mr. Benedict, if you'd be kind enough to furnish my bail, I'd appreciate it. I have a very important appointment.
Ouch! Man, what do you got in that trunk? A bunch of rocks?
I'm sorry, Newt. What are you guys doing here? What are you hiding for?
Will you swear you won't snitch on us?
I won't snitch on you. Well, what are you two doing here? What's this about?
It's about Papa. Are you and Mr. Benedict gonna be his lawyers?
Well, Mr. Benedict is talking to him right now. After that, he'll be arraigned in court. The court will set up a date for the trial. And if he can put up bail, he'll be free until the trial date. Do you understand that?
Nope.
But you sound like you know what you're talking about.
Mr. Tabor, we gotta get home for chores, or we'll be in for a lot of hot water. We'll come see you tomorrow and see how it's coming along, okay?
Listen, tell me where you live and I'll drive you home.
You promise you won't tell the police?
Only if you're breaking the law.
Well, maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But you can take us home. Since you're a lawyer, I guess you won't snitch on us.
Hop in, Mr. Tabor. We'll tell you where to go.
Permission to come aboard, sir?
I died for beauty, but was scarce, adjusted in the tomb. When one who died for truth was laying in an adjoining room, he questioned softly why I failed. For beauty, I replied, and I for truth. The two are one, we brethren are, he said. And so as kinsmen met at night, we talked between the rooms until the moss had reached our lips and covered up our names. Oh, Augie, isn't that the most beautiful, lovely poem? Augie, stop picking your nose!
Well, where have you two drifters been? I had a whole mess of chores for you this morning. You just wait until Papa gets back. He'll put the two of you in the brig for disobeying me.
This here is Miss Mary. She's our big sister, and she's in charge while Papa's in jail. Miss Mary, this here is Mr. Tabor.
He's our lawyer, Miss Mary. You'd better talk with him.
Your lawyer?
I'm an associate of Mr. Benedict's. The boys were down at the Hall of Justice, and I decided to drive them back.
Is he all right? Papa, I mean.
I haven't seen him. Mr. Benedict is handling it, but I'd be glad to call and find out.
We haven't got a phone, Mr. Tabor, but there's one in the antique shop over on the dock.
Listen, first, I'd appreciate it if you'd fill me in on a few things. I'm a bit confused with the story the boys told me.
I've got a million chores, Mr. Tabor. With Papa gone, it's awful hard running a ship full of sea dogs and pirates. Get in the galley, the two of you. There's potatoes to be peeled and the deck to be swabbed down before lunch.
You mean to tell me you have the responsibility of taking care of all these kids by yourself?
Oh, it's not that bad, Mr. Tabor. For the most part, they can take care of themselves. But I do wish Papa was here.
Okay. Lead the way. I'd be glad to help.
Okay, maid, back down in this pool. Make all preparations to come alongside.
Okay, Captain Bly. Time for more important things.
What's more important than ducking my ship?
The toilets haven't been scrubbed today, and that's your big job, Captain.
Heads! Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves in immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no hate.
Emily, it's time to start setting the table for lunch. Will you have lunch with us, Mr. Tabor?
I wouldn't miss it.
This is Mr. Tabor, and he'll be having lunch with us, so set an extra place.
You're beautiful, Mr. Tabor, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Wasn't that Emily Dickinson's poetry you were reading?
It's my poetry, Mr. Tabor. I'm Emily Dickinson.
Oh.
Come on, Yago, it's time to set the table.
There's been a great improvement in her, Mr. Tabor. She used to think she was Buffalo Bill. You look a little confused, Mr. Tabor.
That's the understatement of all time.
It's really not confusing. All this is our home, and all those children and me are Papa's adopted family.
Adopted? Did he really adopt all these?
17 of us. Well, we're kind of adopted.
What does that mean, kind of?
Well, I guess you're supposed to go through some kind of court business or something like that to really adopt orphans. But Papa, well, he just kind of had to skip that. He said there was too much red tape involved.
Look, Mary, let's start with you. How do you happen to be a member of the Dunphy family?
Papa won me in a poker game.
Won you in a poker game?
Well, as Papa tells it, he didn't win me. He lost the poker game, and one of the men had a little baby he didn't know what to do with on account of his wife had run off. He and Papa made a deal. He'd call off the money Papa owed him if he'd take me.
How old were you then, Mary?
Papa isn't quite sure. About 6 months, he figured. Do you have any clothespins in there, Mr. Taylor?
Sure.
Chow time!
And you were Mr. Dunphy's first?
That's right. After I got to be about a year old, Papa figured I needed a brother or sister. And that's how it all started. And you know something? I get down on my knees every night and thank God I was born an orphan. Otherwise, how could I ever have known Papa? Emily, do you have a special prayer for us today?
Yes, Miss Mary. Please, dear Lord, bless our frankfurters and beans in our beautiful home. Where the antelope play and the buffalo roam. Look over us, Lord, and please don't fail to get our dear father out of jail. Amen.
Frankie, you may eat now. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Tabor. I didn't offer you anything to drink. Would you like a bottle of Papa's special homebrewed beer?
I'd love it.
May I get the beer for the man and, open it myself, Miss Mary?
Yes.
I'd like to do it all by myself.
Frankie's something very special to all of us. Somehow he can't seem to do the things a 9-year-old should be able to do. But he's a wonderful boy, and he tries very hard.
How long has he been with you?
Oh, about 5 years. Frankie was found in an abandoned trailer outside Sacramento. Papa says he didn't know how long he'd been there without anybody else around. He didn't even speak till about 5 months after he'd been with us. But now he seems much better. Of course, he's way behind the others in his schoolwork and everything. And sometimes he has terrible nightmares.
Has a doctor ever checked him?
Oh, yes. Papa sent him to lots of doctors. They all say he's mentally retarded.
What does Papa think?
Papa thinks the doctors are mentally retarded. He says that in time, Frankie will be as smart as any of us.
Thank you very much, Frankie.
Hey, Frankie, pour me a beer, too.
Quiet, Joey. Drink your milk. Gee, I sure hope Papa will be all right.
Oh, I'm sure Mr. Benedict has arranged bail for him.
How could anyone ever believe Papa would do something dishonest?
Ladies, this is the surprise I've been promising you. We are honored to have with us a man who, in his humble way, has done as much for the underprivileged as our beloved Albert Schweitzer. Ladies, the Reverend Charles Medford Dunphy. Oh, Reverend. Oh,
How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? How do you do?
Such a pleasure.
Ladies, and my dear Miss Philbrook, I want you to know that if you wish to address me as Reverend, I regard it only as a title of respect. And I hope to be worthy of that reverend.
So
Hey, this is ridiculous. I've got a stack of work on my desk a mile high.
Listen, Marty, as assistant district attorney, it's your duty to see that justice is done before you prosecute Charlie Dunphy. I think you should know the reasons that he allegedly built these charitable organizations out of contributions.
Place seems deserted.
No, I don't think so. Hank's car is right over there.
This old paddle wheeler used to run between Sacramento and San Francisco. How'd Dunphy ever get it?
I don't know.
But it wasn't legal.
Mr. Benedict! I'll be right back. Don't anybody touch my hot dogs.
Hi, Mr. Benedict. Sure glad to see you, Mr. Benedict.
Hi, Dutch. This is Mr. Rhodes.
Hi, Mr. Rose.
Hi,
Where's Papa?
Well, I don't know. I thought he was here.
No. Is he out of jail?
Oh, yes, yes.
Great. Wait till I tell the rest.
Come on, Marty. Let's meet the gang.
Sam, why don't you answer the boy's question? Where is Papa?
I come to you today not as a missionary from some far-off land, not as a minister of the gospel, but as a bunco man. I believe that's the word. Yes. Yes, a bunco man who would like to con you out of a small contribution for a worthwhile organization, the Waifs of the Sea. Now, ladies, I have no intention of embarrassing you into giving more than you wish to give. So I'd like to ask you to all lower your heads and lower your eyes. And then I'll suggest a certain amount of money for a contribution. Now, if you wish to give that amount, simply raise your hand. If you do not, you may wait until I suggest a smaller sum. Is that agreeable?
Oh, I think that's a very humane idea, Reverend.
Bless you, Mrs. Philbrook.
Now,
Bless you.
ladies, close your eyes.
All right, now I'll start with the $100 contribution. How many of you dear ladies feel that you would be able to contribute the sum of $100 to these little waifs of the sea? Wow, that's wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now, how many would like to give a $75 contribution? Oh, 3. very generous group. $50? God bless you all.
So, Marty, you've had the guided tour. Are you convinced that Charlie Dumpy runs a pretty taut ship?
Well, Hank, all I really know is that the kids have good, clean living quarters, and they all seem to be having a great deal of fun.
Look, Marty, maybe Charlie Dunphy has collected money under false pretenses. Maybe he isn't exactly running a foster home according to the state's regulation. But can you honestly say that what he's doing for these children isn't good?
I'm not saying anything yet. But there are a lot of important questions that have to be answered. What kind of education are these kids getting? What kind of medical care? Is he preparing them for the future? And Sam, are all these children really abandoned kids?
Hello, Frank.
Don't go in no more. Please don't go in no more.
Oh, no. All right, now, that's enough of this. Now, there's work to be done and lessons to be learned, and the rest of you get busy there and unload the groceries from the truck, huh? Prepare for evening inspection. There now. Hey, little Augie. Let's have a look here. Uh-huh. Huh? What's that?
Bubble gum.
Oh, it is it? Isn't that strange? I always thought that bubble gum was for chewing, not for plugging behind the ears.
She told me I couldn't chew it in bed. And it wasn't all juiced out yet, so I was saving her for tomorrow.
Well, juiced out or not, it goes in the waste paper basket. You understand that now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Come on, let's see the hands. You know, Augie, you're very thrifty with the bubble gum, but you needn't be so thrifty with the soap. Come on now. Go in the back and get those hands took up clean. Go on. There we are. There. Frankie, are you working hard on your lessons?
Yes, Papa.
Good boy. Good boy. Well, Dutch. Let's have a look at that throat. Ah? Ah.
Don't hurt no more.
Anymore.
Anymore.
Come on. There you. All right. Ah, Mary, you did a splendid job while I was away. I'm sorry for placing so much extra work on your shoulders. Well, now, let's have the evening prayer. What's the prayer for tonight, Mary?
The 23rd Psalm.
23rd Psalm.
Can't we have the wedding ceremony tonight, Papa? It's so beautiful.
We'll do the wedding ceremony tomorrow night, Emily. Mary?
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside
beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Amen.
All right now, everyone. To bed, everyone, and God bless you.
Papa?
Yes, Newt.
Will I go to hell if I don't believe in God?
You have a right to believe or not to believe.
I believe that 2 and 2 is 4, and 4 and 4 is 8. But all this praying and everything, well, I just don't know. What makes everybody so sure there's a God?
And what makes you so sure there isn't?
I asked you first.
All right. Here. Tell me, what's that now?
A quarter.
Are you sure?
Positive.
You're wrong. It's a phony. It's a counterfeit. It's not worth a penny.
What's that prove?
Well, it proves that you were wrong and positive at the same time.
So you carry a phony quarter around with you to trick people into believing?
No. I carry it around with me to remind myself never to be too positive about anything. Here. What's that? You know what it is, don't you?
A watch.
Yes. Who do you suppose made it?
A watchmaker.
Come on, open it. Open it. Here. There we are. Now, look at all those cogs and springs and wheels and jewels moving around in perfect precision. A master craftsman put them all together to make a remarkable piece for telling time.
I guess so.
Come on. Come on with me. Come on. Look out there, Newt. The sea, the sky, the moon. The whole universe ticking away like a gigantic clock. Who do you suppose put it all together and made it work?
Maybe it just happened, that's all.
Accidentally, like this watch?
How should I know?
Well, a good atheist would. Good night.
Night, Mr. Benedict.
Good night, son.
Mr. Benedict, would you like a drink? I have milk, cocoa, cod liver oil, a home-brewed beer.
I'll take the beer.
Do you think there's a possibility they might not let me keep the children?
The state of California has some pretty rigid rules on foster child care, and well, they should have.
Oh, drink your beer now. I have faith in you, Mr. Benedict. Tremendous faith. Mr. Benedict, I want to be completely truthful with you. Before little Mary was dropped on my lap in the poker game, I was nothing but a drifter, a bum, an intellectual drunkard full of self-pity who had nothing but contempt and hatred for this world. I sobered up one day when I found myself with a little child. A little child with dirty diapers and a pure heart, who, along with the rest, has managed to keep a common drunk sober for 15 years. I don't believe I've helped those children as much as they've helped me, Mr. Benedict. My main reason for keeping them is a selfish one. I don't know if I could go on without them. In the name of God, Mr. Benedict, don't let anyone take them away.
I'll do everything I can, Charlie. I promise you that.
Oh, come on in, Hank. Morning.
Morning, Morty. What's the verdict?
Well, the boss has decided to drop the bunco charges against Dunphy.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
A bit of hold of gratitude, that's not all. We've issued a complaint for Mr. Dunphy to appear in municipal court. We're charging him with running an illegal foster home.
Who's going to be on the bench?
Judge Ionic. And along with Judge Ionic, you're going to have to convince 3 very prominent members of the State Welfare Board.
Well, has a hearing date been set?
Yeah, tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Department 22.
Well, that doesn't give us much time, does it?
No. There's more. I had to notify the State Welfare Board of Frankie. They want you to bring him down for an examination.
How soon?
Well, the sooner the better.
Marty, if they take Frankie away from the rest of those kids, they're liable to destroy everything for him.
Hank, you know the people at State Welfare as well as I do. They're people, not characters out of Dickens. They're going to do what's best for the boy.
How can they honestly judge a situation like this?
Well, I can't answer that, Hank. I doubt if anybody can.
Jimmy lived in a big house. Jimmy's father drove.
How old did you say Frankie was, Mr. Dunphy?
And he was about 4, I think, when I found him in an abandoned trailer. He was in a state of traumatic shock. That was about 5 years ago. That would make him 9 now. He's still having trouble with the first reader, but he's made tremendous progress, Mr. Tabor.
I'm sure he has. But you do understand that even if they do allow you to keep the other children, Frankie may have to be placed in a mental hygiene home or a foster home, specially trained in taking care of mentally retarded children.
I've been afraid that would happen, but I swear to you, Mr. Tabor, he's made tremendous progress. Of course, he's still got a long way to go, but he's made tremendous progress.
We can't prove the progress, Charlie. They can only judge the child as he is right now, not when he first came in.
Hank, would you take him down for the examination for me? I'm afraid that if I bring him, I might get a bit too emotional.
Of course, John.
Frankie, Mr. Tabor's going to take you down for the examination.
The doctors won't hurt you, Frank. They're only going to ask you some questions. And I'll be right there with you all the time.
Can't Papa come with us?
Well, I asked Papa if we could just go together. Frankie, I want very much to be your friend. Will you be my friend?
Yes.
I'm very proud of you, Frankie. And so are all your brothers and sisters, too. Go along now, go on.
Right after I see the doctor, I'll be back home.
You'll be back, Frankie. I promise you that. Go on now, go on. To realize a feeling of accomplishment in my life. I'm sure the welfare authorities are aware of the fact that anyone who wants to take the trouble can easily find stray or badly neglected children where the natural parents are only too willing to give up their responsibilities.
Do you honestly feel that you are capable of raising 17 children all alone, Mr. Dunphy?
No, I don't. But I believe I have been capable of teaching them to be self-reliant and capable of helping each other without, I hope, destroying their happiness.
Your Honor, our main interest in this matter is to find out whether or not these children are receiving proper education and care. Now, as to care as an eyewitness, I must admit that on the surface they seem to be happy, contented, and normal children. But we're not convinced that they're receiving a proper education.
Your Honor, as you know, a brief educational examination was made by the Department of Social Welfare. They found, with one exception, that the children's IQ was far above average for their ages.
I'm aware that they have high IQs, Mr. Benedict. All the more reason for us to want to know the extent and nature of their schooling.
Your Honor, may I ask Mr. Dunphy to proceed for a moment?
For what reason, Mr. Benedict?
Mr. Dunphy is much more qualified to demonstrate their education.
All right, you may proceed, Mr. Dunphy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh. Tell me, Newt, what do you know about the discovery of America?
Well, a lot of people say it was Christopher Columbus, but I'm pretty sure it was Leif Erikson.
Oh?
About 500 years before Columbus made his first voyage, Leif Erikson was returning to Greenland from Well, it was either Norway or Iceland, and he got blown off course, and first thing he knew, he hit a place he called Vineland. Of course, we call it Newfoundland now. You know something, Papa? I just read that they're pretty sure Columbus went up to Iceland and heard about that.
Tell me, son, how did you happen to get so interested in this subject?
Leif Erikson was probably my great-great-great-great-grandfather.
When I'm dead, my dearest, sing no sad songs for me. Plant thou no roses at my head, nor shady cypress tree. Be the green grass above me, with showers and dewdrop wet. And if thou wilt remember, and if thou wilt forget. make one film. 100 film make one cable lane. Cable lanes. 10 cable lanes make 1 nautical mile. 3 nautical miles make 1 league. 60 nautical miles make 1 degree.
And Article 6 of the Bill of Rights says that in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which districts will have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense.
That's fine, Dutch, but do you know what it means?
Yes, that means when you go into court, no matter what you're accused of, you're entitled to a fair shake.
Mr. Dunphy, it won't be necessary to go on. We're all convinced of the boy's knowledge of government. Tell me, son, what are you going to be when you grow up?
The President of the United States.
Oh, what a noble mind is here a throne. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I of ladies, most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
No further questions.
Thank you, Ophelia. Mary. Mr. Dunphy, you may be seated. Any more witnesses, Mr. Benedict?
No, Your Honor. But there are certain facts I'd like this court to know before you render a decision. First of all, we are all aware of the serious shortage of foster homes in our city. The grand jury members themselves reported on this recently. The jury's juvenile court committee even recommended a community approach to the care of neglected or abandoned children, rather than merely increasing juvenile court facilities. The shortage of foster homes represents a difficult problem. We have many children in custody today because it is believed that we offer inadequate financial support. Even the mayor and the board of supervisors have requested that we give favorable consideration to the requests of private agencies to foster children and to be given financial aid. Regardless of what regulations Mr. Dunphy has failed to comply with, he has, in my opinion, done a miraculous job. And I see no reason why he shouldn't be allowed to continue. And further, that Mr. Dunphy be granted a license to operate a private home with financial aid from the state.
Oh, will that be all, Mr. Benedict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rhodes?
The people rest, Your Honor.
Well, before I render a decision in this matter, I'll have to discuss this further with the Department of Social Welfare. As you gentlemen know, they have the final authority in this matter. However, regardless of how splendid a job Mr. Dunphy has apparently done in educating these children, I think in all fairness, they should be placed in public schools. The qualified staff that is required by our laws in a foster home of more than 6 children, well, I can only say that since this story has reached the paper, my desk is full of letters from qualified people who would be only too happy to give their service. Therefore, Mr. Dunphy, I'm going to allow the children to remain in your custody on a temporary basis until a final decision is reached. This matter stands submitted. Court is adjourned.
I expected a stronger battle from you, Marty.
Oh, no, Sam. I've had enough trouble for one day. You know, ever since this story hit in the papers, my wife hasn't spoken to me. All my 7 kids are on a hunger strike. My secretary's been hiding my notes, and on my way to court this morning, a little old lady hit me on the head with an umbrella. Sam, I think I'm the only person in the world who can sympathize with Pontius Pilate.
Well, come on now and eat. You'd think it was some kind of a wake instead of a celebration. Come back here and sit down.
But maybe it's...
Sit down, I want no issue made of it. Frankie. Oh, Frankie. What took you so long?
We got held up in traffic.
Oh, Frankie, go get us 3 more fresh bottles of beer, will you now? Go on. Come on and sit down, Mr. Tabor. Come on.
The State Welfare Board is going to allow Frankie to stay on here on a temporary basis. Yay! You'll have to bring him in for examination periodically. If they still feel he's not improving in the environment he's now in, and he needs specialized care and training, then I agreed that he should be placed in a mental hygiene home.
He'll improve, I guarantee you that.
You'll be getting financial aid from the state now, Charlie. I hope that means no more missionary work.
Oh, of course not. Oh, thank you, Frankie. Well, Mary, would you remind me to call the Ladies' Aid Society at St. Dominic's and cancel my appointment there tonight?